Exogenous ketones can be helpful for keto eating warriors who need a boost in mental performance, energy production, fat burning, or to help adapt to the ketogenic eating style. If you're struggling with keto flu, take for a couple of days and you'll be on your way post-haste. Perfect Keto exogenous ketones are the most effective, best tasting, and most affordable exogenous ketone supplement on the market, or at least what I've been able to find. They've got a ton of great flavors. My personal favorite is vanilla, and you can use the coupon code HEALTHFUL, all in caps, no spaces, for 15% off at healthfulpursuit.com/ketones. Unsure of the link? Simply check out the show notes of today's episode to get all of the details. Welcome to the Keto Diet Podcast, the show all about keto for women so you can burn fat, balance your hormones, and heal your body. Starting and maintaining keto can be challenging without the right support. So just for listening to the podcast, I want to give you 20% off the keto beginning with the coupon code Keto Podcast. That's all one word. This 30-day program gives you a clear step-by-step how-to so you can quickly adapt to a ketogenic diet, avoid common struggles, and get the results you crave. Go to healthfulpursuit.com/begin to get your keto beginning discount today. If you're new around these parts, I'm Leanne Vogel. You may know me as the international best-selling author of The Keto Diet, founder of happyketobody.com, or maybe you know me as the nutritionist that likes dipping pork rinds in avocado oil mayo. I'm so glad you're here with me today. Thanks so much for listening. Okay, let's get this party started. Hey you're listening to another mini-sode of the Keto Diet Podcast. My name is Leanne. I blog over at Healthful Pursuit, and I'm super stoked you're joining me for today's Halloween version of the podcast. You can grab the transcript by going over to healthfulpursuit.com/podcast/X21. And don't forget that we have regular episodes every Sunday with a guest. Sometimes I take over, sometimes I have a guest. Other times we do other cool things, and we have a lot of really wicked stuff coming for 2019. Get it? Wicked, Halloween, spooky. Okay, today I'm talking about the things that terrify me, and I don't mean spiders. Ew, and crabs. I hate crabs. They're terrifying. Pretty much all crustaceans are legit the grossest things ever. I can handle anything, but if a crab jumped on my leg, I would probably die right there. But we're not talking about those sort of terrifying things. We're talking about fears, like legit, deep, engraved fears. And I don't even think my best friend knows about these fears. I don't even think I talk about this stuff with Kevin or my sister or my parents. And I think if you know somebody well enough, you kind of have a sense of what they're not so open to, just generally speaking. But I thought it would be a great episode for Halloween. It's a really raw conversation, so be kind with me. And I really just like talking about this stuff because I think too often all of us pretend like everything's okay when it's actually not. And being in the social media space, and I mean, we're all in social media, and when you have people that follow you or you follow people and you look at other people's lives and you're like, oh my gosh, they have it so together and they're always so happy. It's a lie. It's legit a lie. And I never, ever, 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 ever want any of you to look at my pictures or listen to the podcast and think, oh man, that Leanne, she's got her stuff together. I do not. I'm a hot mess. And I think that we all are in our own beautiful way. And that's totally fine. I think the most important thing is to admit that there are things that terrify us and then understand that there are ways that we can work through it. So we're going to be chatting about what scares me the most and what stops me from doing things. And as I was writing the notes for this episode just a couple of weeks ago, I was preparing things and putting down my notes, and I was like on fear number 3 out of 8. And I got an email saying that somebody that I worked with had just passed away suddenly, just like that, boom, dead. And when, I don't know if that's ever happened to you, it's never happened to me in that way of like, I just talked to that person yesterday. Like I just talked to them yesterday. They were fine yesterday. What the heck? Immediately, my brain just stopped working and I had this full body experience of none of this actually matters because I could legit be dead tomorrow. We all could. And I know that sounds kind of morbid a little bit, but for me, it's like so freeing and really puts things into perspective. Kevin had read the email at the exact same moment I had, and we both looked completely stunned, and we both had a very similar reaction to it of none of my stress and the things that terrify me actually matter. And this life will be over in a bat of an eye. Like, it will just be done so fast. And I had this immense sense that I'm so happy that I'm trying to live my life. I'm struggling a lot with it, especially lately, just putting up boundaries and things. And I'm so happy that I take risks and live as much as I can. And I need to do more of it and less stressing about the things that terrify me. So I thought, I wanted to share that because not often do we get that experience of just getting a sense of how brief this amazing life is and how quickly it can just vanish, and how important it is to feel like we're living our best life every day and not allow ourselves to sweat the small stuff. And it really put my fears into perspective. So let's get into the things that terrify me. And I'd love to hear from you either by responding to the email that shared today's episode or jumping on Instagram and letting me know what terrifies you and if you can relate, because I'm just talking to a microphone. There's nobody that I'm looking at. I'm thinking of you all when I'm talking, but I'm legit in a room by myself talking. So I'd love to hear what you think. The first thing that terrifies me is that I'll lose everything. I deal with that fear a lot. I think it stops me from being happy. And it's like this inner critic voice that's like, oh no, girl, like you may think you have it all, but it could be gone tomorrow. And instead of thinking, oh my gosh, this could be gone tomorrow, I should really be thankful. Instead, I am always in fear that somebody's just going to take everything that I hold dear away from me. And I think many of us deal with this, and it's really frustrating. I don't have an answer, but if you feel this way, know that I do too. So, hey, pals. The second is that I made a horrible decision, or that we as a couple, Kevin and I, make horrible choices always. Like when we rented out our home and moved to Montreal, thought it was a horrible choice. When we moved back from Montreal, I was pretty happy about it. I didn't think it was a horrible choice, but I also thought that we were, being flaky and that we needed to just push it through and see it through. And that was really hard for me to be like, no, we need to go home. Or when I decided to quit my job without talking to Kevin, that was a big one. When I decided to go to nutrition school, I just turned, I think 20. I just turned 20. I had no money in my bank account and I signed up for the school not knowing how I was going to pay the thousands of dollars of tuition. I thought that was a horrible choice. Even after I graduated, I thought nutrition school was a complete waste of time and a horrible choice. When we sold our house, horrible choice. When I bought my condo, also thought it was a horrible choice. When we moved into the RV, horrible choice. When we went camping for the first time together, horrible choice. When I bought my cell phone, do you see the pattern here? I always think that I'm making the wrong decisions. But anytime I fast forward 5 years, like when I think about when I quit my job, I thought it was a horrible choice at the time, but oh man, am I happy that I did it then. So I think our inner critic really tries to protect us from making rash decisions because they want to protect us. That like inner negative voice wants to stop us from doing crazy stuff because what we know is safe. And so I think when we're stepping out of that zone, it might come up as, girl, you're making a horrible decision. Back up before you can't back up anymore and you've ruined your life. My third horrifying, terrifying fear is about money. I have a lot of horrible feelings about money. And I think it really was caused by growing up in a household where we did not have I don't know how little money we had, but looking back, there wasn't a lot of it. And so we grew up in a certain way. And I don't think my parents had an overly good relationship with money. And that probably was passed down to us, just the way they talked about money, how we interacted with money. And so now I'm always fearful about money, feeling like I don't have enough of it, feeling everything is expensive and life could completely revolve around money. And I've done a lot of work over the last couple of years to start accepting that there's more to life then stressing about money. But it can be hard when you grow up with very, 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 very little. And then, you go to school and you have student loans and you're trying to do things and, do the right stuff and start a business. And oh my gosh, how am I going to pay my employees? Like, I remember when we got our first employee, I was making $500 a week and I hired somebody that was going to take $400 of that. And I'm like, how am I going to buy groceries? And those fears just snowball as you get bigger and you're an entrepreneur and you're hiring more people and you're doing more stuff. And you're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to make ends meet and how is this all going to work? But there's so much more to life than money. And there's so many other things that we can do that have nothing to do with money. Okay. The fourth most terrifying thing, and not in any order, I just listed them as they came to me, is that people won't like me, my books, products, promotions, the things I put out there, the things that I say. I silence myself on so many things because I just am terrified of confrontation. And I've had to learn this lesson over and over again. I've not mastered it by any means. I'm probably like 8% there. But I don't like when people don't like me, and I like fitting in, and I don't like stepping out of the box, which is weird because like I had red hair and stuff, but that wasn't really stepping out of the box. I mean, people have weird hair. I don't like confronting people. I don't like telling people that I don't like certain things. It's something I deal with every day and I really need to be better at it. Like if I don't like a massage, I'll tell them that I liked it, even though it was horrible, just because I don't want to hurt their feelings. Then I pay for it and I give them a tip and I'm like, what's wrong with me? I actually hated that. I'm that kind of person. My fifth fear is that I don't know enough or I don't know anything. That's a thing that I struggle with a lot of, like, how dare you? I get that a lot on like when I'm on a book tour or writing a book. Like when I wrote the Keto Diet, oh my gosh, that was like the ongoing track as I was writing the book of like, who are you to write a book like this? You do not know anything. Put your computer down and go back to work. This is ridiculous. I'm sure there are people that struggle with the same thing. And I am continuing to learn that people will always know more than you. There will always be somebody who knows more than you. And instead of seeing them as competition, see them as an educator and like soak up what they got and move on. The sixth thing that terrifies me is being alone. I live a pretty lonely life. Like I don't have a lot of friends. Kevin, my sister, those are the two people that mean the most to me in the whole world. I don't really make space for other people. And I have been like this for quite a few years, probably. I mean, even in school, I just liked having one or two friends. I wasn't much for like having all the friends. But I do have a fear of like, what if Kevin passed away? Or what if my sister moved really, really far and then I had nobody and I would die alone? Or I would just be alone and what would that be like? And then I'd be like a crazy dog lady. It's definitely a fear that I deal with. Not often, but I definitely do think about it. And the seventh is that what I do doesn't actually matter. Like all the stuff I do and all the stress that I experience with the job that I have and just everything that I put out there. Like I'm recording, 50 episodes of the podcast in the next couple of days. And that's a lot for any human being to experience. And then I don't get to connect with people as much as I would like because I'm working behind a computer. And then I think like, what if none of this actually matters? And what if nobody has benefited from this? I am fearful of like, what if what I'm doing isn't actually helping? Like for example, Slim Fast is coming out with a line of keto products rather. And it's just like, are you serious? Like I'm over here busting my butt, doing everything that I can to educate women on taking care of their bodies and being kind to themselves. And then Slim Fast comes out with a keto shake. How am I supposed to compete with this? Like the ingredients are absolute garbage and there's going to be thousands upon thousands of people that eat this garbage. And it feels so insurmountable and just like, it's such a big deal. And so to get myself out of that funk, I usually just imagine one woman that's listening to this podcast or reading my book that then tells one other woman who tells another woman, who tells another woman. And really at the end of the day, if I can like help, like, oh my gosh, if I can even help one woman in my entire life, just like one woman to love her body and maybe get the help she needs for an eating disorder or disordered eating or something. And like, then she goes on to live this amazing life she never would have because of something that I said. And then she was encouraged to like go and be and do. That is so cool. But sometimes I'm just fearful that that never happens. You know what I'm saying? And then the 8th is, it kind of goes back to the one that I chatted about where I'll lose everything. Is kind of like the world is out to get me mentality of like nothing is going my way and everyone's out to get me and life sucks. And I'm sure that many of you feel this way a lot of the time. And really the only thing that gets me out of that mentality is coming home and like snuggling with Kevin or a dog, whoever is available or shows me love first. So I hope that was helpful. I hope you're having a great Halloween, super spooky episode talking about all the things that terrify me. And really, I hope that just by sharing my story that, you know, some of my fears are also your fears and that you know that you're not alone, I'm not alone, and we're all in this together, just being totally clueless humans and trying to figure ourselves out as we go. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye. Thanks for listening to the Keto Diet Podcast. Join us again in a couple of days to discover more keto for women secrets for your fat-fueled life. The Keto Diet Podcast, including show notes and links, provides information in respect to healthy living, recipes, nutrition, and diet, and is intended for informational purposes only. The information provided is not a substitute for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment, nor is it to be construed as such. We cannot guarantee that the information provided on the Keto Diet Podcast reflects the most up-to-date medical research. Information is provided without any representations or warranties of any kind. Please consult a qualified physician for medical advice and always seek the advice of a qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding your health and nutrition program.